All right, how's everybody doing? This is the Cheech and Manny Music Podcast, and we have a great one today. This is the history of rap music coming from three different people's perspectives on it in their eras and generations. And I'd like to say hi to Manny, my co-host. What's going on, Manny?
Cheech, what's up, brother? Life is good on my end.
That's great, man. Awesome. And want to introduce our special guest.
Oh, how you doing? My name is Davante, uh, DJ, kind of a rap music historian. Or I try to be, and we know
We'll
here to
see
have
about
fun.
that today.
We gonna see. We gonna see about that. We gonna see about that.
I wonder who's more of the expert, Davanta or Cheech? Because
Oh, I
Cheech,
be
An old,
I be Cheech. He's done. He's cooked.
well, an old school rap. Devontae knows a lot. We talk a lot
no,
at the
no, for
temple.
sure.
We talk a lot at the temple, you
Yeah,
know. So he knows a lot. But new school rap, I learned a lot from Devontae.
yeah,
You know, I like
yeah.
I like a lot of it. But also Devontae is a great photographer as well. I don't know if he mentioned that in
No, I
his
didn't. But that's very true. Thank you very much.
what did you mention it? Because I want
No,
people to
I,
know.
I, I didn't. I didn't. I try to keep it. Trying to be humble. I don't want to be seen like a Renaissance
Well,
man or anything. I'm trying to be humble.
he
Nah,
is a
Davanta,
Renaissance
you
man.
are a
I'm,
Renaissance
I'm
man.
gonna say I'm
No,
gonna say Devontae is I think an amazing person. Number one, amazing photographer. He's done my
yeah.
band, two shows, phenomenal pictures. Made a movie
I was
that
getting
was cool.
filmmaker, and he's a filmmaker.
Filmmaker,
He appreciates
and
film.
he's really doing great with DJing. From the clips I'm watching, I
Uh-huh.
think he's kicking ass, and I think it's gonna skyrocket for him. You know, so any DJing gigs coming up?
Yeah, I believe I have. It's a small little thing at like a flea market on the 25th
Oh,
so
nice.
far.
Good.
Um, Other than that, a few parties here and there.
All
Crazy.
right, man. Sounds good. And I like to give a shout out to Potter's Field always. We just played
How was the
last
set
night at
yesterday? I was gonna say.
yeah, it was good. We had a nice set. We played at Joey's in Port Chester, you know, short set. And then I sat in with the house band, which is a lot of fun. And we did a lot of blues stuff, some
Oh,
Freddie King,
nice.
meters, and funk stuff. So it's always fun. Shout
When
out
when
to
is the next show?
well, we're at the Uptown Jam. It's called that Joey's every Tuesday night. You could check
Hmm.
Potter's Field and some great musicians there, phenomenal players. And you know, last night was a really great night, good times. And check out Potter's Field. You know, the next day, Bobby the singer is he's promoting the shows that we did the night before. So you'll always see us all over YouTube or Facebook. So check it out. And a
Always
lot of
welcome.
a lot of new material we're working on too. So all right. So shall we
Exciting
get
stuff.
started? What's that?
No, exciting stuff, Cheech.
Oh yeah, definitely. So first of all, let me see. I got a lot of notes. Did my research, Devontae.
And just while you're gathering your notes together.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be we've been covering Rush, and we started out talking about the new wave of British heavy metal, talked about our favorite
Yeah.
band Rush,
Yes. Yeah.
which so now we're gonna take a little detour and talk about hip hop, right?
Yeah.
I
So I want people to know, I mean, our metal fans, we like rap.
I was gonna
Sorry.
say huge fan. No, yeah,
Sorry guys.
I was gonna say disclaimer, yeah, for our like rock and metal fans, I'm a huge hip hop fan, like
Me too. Grew up with it,
huge.
you know. I'm a bass player, you know, so you got to be. Um, and you know, it's a music show. We'll eventually
Mhm.
probably be doing Beethoven versus Mozart at one point. We already
Yeah,
talked about the Mambo, you know, so we're going to be covering everything. And this is, you know, not so different from what we talked about.
no,
Rap music, hip hop is not so different from the new wave of British heavy metal. You know, economic depression going on in the
yeah,
70s in
yeah,
the Bronx, in the South Bronx, just like an economic depression going on in the East End of London. What are
yeah.
the kids going to do? Go to the streets or,
Or
pick up,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
right.
turntables,
True.
rapping, so it's very, very similar. So, all right, this is the first considered rap song, and I played this for Devontae. I don't know if I might have sent this to you. The Jubileers, 1946. It's called Noah. It's a
Okay.
gospel. I don't know if you remember that one, Davanta. I sent it to you.
Yeah, I remember you sent it to me before.
What'd you think about that?
Uh, I don't know. When it comes to like what was considered as the first like rap, I don't know. I feel like that term gets thrown around a lot because they see a bunch of people kind of doing a rhyme scheme, and
Yeah.
then the people just be like, "Oh, that's rapping right there." But I'm pretty
Right.
sure people have rhymed way before then or before that. So it's an iffy area for me.
Yeah.
Really
I mean, it comes up in the history. So there's probably people who've done it before, you know. Um, definitely poets, like going back
That's
to
what I said. Like Davante, I was talking to Cheech yesterday. Like I always view the artists in the hip hop genre as poets.
yeah. Oh,
And like, I agree with Devontae. It's kind of hard to see, where it first started because lyricism has always been a thing since Shakespeare, like rhyming schemes.
yeah, you
Right,
could
it's
even go that
interesting.
far back. I mean, I would even say Robert Frost.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like the ion anapest. I don't know if you ever studied
yeah,
the rhyming scheme of
yep,
Robert Frost came up with that whole that. I'm going back to my Mercy College days when I took poetry, but there was like
yeah,
eons, anapest, and it's a scheme, and it's usually a 4 bar
right,
line, like a
right,
sonnet, kind of like Shakespeare.
right.
So it could go back to poetry. Well, definitely goes back to poetry. Um, all right, so the origins of hip hop. Um, okay, so it starts my research in the Bronx in 1973,
Hmm.
and it basically is made up of rapping, beatboxing.
Yeah.
Now, Devonta, you want to give us an example of
Oh, that's it.
beatboxing?
Yeah, yeah, Devontae.
I am not
Yo,
beatboxing, but
yo,
yeah,
give us some
there's no
beatbox.
beatboxing coming over here, bro.
Well, anyway,
Wait,
beatboxing
wait, wait,
is
wait.
like
I will
when
say, wait, Cheech, pause though.
yeah,
But Devontae is, you know, since you're so in terms of like the age hierarchy, we got Cheech, oldest, me in the middle, and you're like the youngest, right?
Yeah, the
Um,
youngest.
beatboxing, what do you think? Is it still relevant?
I mean, beatboxing is. I mean, all right. If you like not doing it at school, like you're doing it at school, it's like all right. Now we're gonna like rap at at the lunch table at the school table. You feel me? But if you like do it on the streets, people are gonna be like, "Who is this man beatboxing on the corner in front of Shadies or something like that? Like, who is this man?"
Well, I think Cheech beatboxes in front of Joey.
I'm a good beatboxer. Nah. But back in my day, beatboxing was every kid. I'm talking the
See,
80s and
but that's
in the 80s.
interesting. See how things changed within like the
Yeah,
hip
yeah,
hop genre and rap genre. Like it used to be the thing, but now I agree with
yeah,
Devontae. Like if it's a school thing, yeah, cool. And then I remember some kids will be like spitting bars, and then, but if you
yeah.
were to do it, like let's say we go to like Bronx or something, you're gonna be like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah, what are you playing, bro? Like,
Well,
this is not
it
the
was a big
1960s.
it was a big thing in the 80s,
Mhm.
in my era. But back then they didn't have drum machines yet. So
Yep,
I don't know
yep.
who invented beatboxing. Anyone who knows, maybe Devontae, if you know, but anyone who knows, put it in the comments because I would love to know who decided to do that. Uh, so we kind of talked about that. Then the turntable, break dancers, and graffiti. So
Yep.
those encompass everything that goes into rap music, the whole scene, right? Makes sense to you guys?
Early 80s, right? Like
Oh,
sort of like the birth.
this is the 70s.
Oh, so this is okay. We're not even going in the 80s. Okay.
This is 1973. Then I'm going to take it to 76. And the Bronx was in an economic depression in the
Right.
70s.
Right.
And there's a couple reasons. I'm not going to get too political because I know we can get crazy, but Mayor Beam, and Mayor Koch really, from my research, fucked up the Bronx. They didn't really do much for it. It
Mm.
was not a good place. There was a lot of burnt out buildings and
Yeah.
stuff. So so there's that
Well, I was gonna
political.
say, like, I remember seeing a documentary on the history of hip hop, and they were saying that, you know, during that time that you just mentioned,
Yeah,
Cheech, it looked like a war zone. Like it was
it did.
horrible. It was
Yeah, they made a
horrible.
movie about it, Fort Apache, the Bronx. So during that era, and especially during Bean's, I keep saying it's Mayor Beam's era in 1978, he didn't do much. And he's also, just as a side note, the guy that wanted to close the Son of Sam case really quick and get it over with. But there was a lot more going on. So he was just like, I
He
don't
was
think he
in,
was a
yo,
good
he
man.
was incompetent. He was
No, he wasn't.
He
And
wasn't
then
really doing anything.
Koch was not any better, I don't think. So they didn't give any love to the Bronx at that point. Economic depression. So the urban kids found fun by having block parties and God, where are hanging out in old buildings, having parties with huge PA systems similar to the reggae, Jamaican DJ PA systems.
hmm.
And me and Davante talked about this guy. This guy is supposedly the father of rap, of DJing and rap. DJ Cool Herc.
Hmm.
Am I
Yeah, DJ
correct,
Kool
Davante?
Herc. Yeah, you're right. DJ Kool Herc. That's the dude.
Yeah,
He's definitely one of the beginning founders of it all. Well, definitely one of the people that started the whole thing.
yeah,
Next to Grandmaster Flash and all them.
Hmm.
Anyone who really went crazy with the decks. They
yeah, yeah. But he wasn't rapping from when I
So he's more
found.
like a sampler
it's,
DJ.
it's more of like a
Yeah,
scratcher. You
Yeah.
he'll bring a DJ set. He'll bring whatever he can master, and then they'll have
Mhm.
essentially while they're playing the song "Good Times," they'll have a good time. You feel me?
Right. Right.
Scratching going on, and eventually it led into what happened with Grandmaster Flex. It was improv.
Hmm.
They didn't play anything out. It just kind of just happened. Grab a mic, start rapping on it. History been made.
That's a good point. The improv, yeah. Um, and it said, we took the breaks, like you said, and he looped them in the song. I guess that comes from dub, like Jamaican dub, that original idea, dubstep, or that kind of
Of
thing, where they where
what do you
they
mean?
where they would where they would loop the music.
Uh, maybe it's just a maybe on that one.
Yeah. He had the two turntables. He called it the merry-go-round technique. I don't know if you've
Hmm.
ever heard of that.
Yeah, yeah. It's when you
It,
like kind of like it's I can't do it on mine. 'Cause I don't have any vinyl. I don't have a vinyl deck. But if I did, essentially, it's like you're spinning it on you're spinning the one side of the deck in one go, where it as if you're reversing it back to the same point. It's a very weird thing. I don't know how to actually they do it, but I want to learn so badly if I had like my own turntable. It's actually crazy.
so he invented it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Wait.
And then Grandmaster Flash perfected it.
Wait. So it sounds like so the art or concept of a DJ, and I don't know Devontae Cheech above. It kind of sounds like these artists invented the idea of a DJ.
Yeah, I would say that
That's
Cool Herc,
crazy.
he took the turntable and invented it, and then Grandmaster Flash. It's kind of like Robert Johnson on the guitar,
Right,
and then
right.
Jimi Hendrix taking it, being Grandmaster Flash. DJ Kool Herc was Robert Johnson, and
Oh
then
wow.
Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix would be Grandmaster Flash, because Flash took it to the next level
Right,
of
right.
DJ. But Kool Herc he's the founder of
He's the
that,
founder.
yeah, of hip hop. And then we talked about the Zulu Nation, right? Devonta, you want to explain a little bit about that?
The Zulu
Yeah.
Nation. I it's get it. We mentioned it before, but the problem is that I definitely forgot the members. That's what's getting me.
Well, what they did is they brought that hip hop and graffiti and rapping to the kids, and they
Mm.
and they brought the culture to them. So they had a lot to do with making it popular. From my research,
Well, I was gonna say I
um,
heard them being shouted out on like a lot of Tribe Called Quest songs.
oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Zulu Nation,
yeah,
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 and De La Soul.
yep. That
so
whole
we
group.
could we could kind of make them the Neil K in the story.
We could, we could.
you know, if we go Neil
Yo,
K,
Q-Tip, Q-Tip might be.
like Neil K was the guy who brought heavy metal to the popularity in England, Zulu
Well,
Nation.
wait, no. I actually wait. Let me look this up. A potential Neil K was. Hold on. I'll tell you his name. Forgot his name. Let's see if I can find his name. Oh, do you guys know Fab Five Freddy?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
part of the Fab
He
Five. Definitely.
he would be the Neil K type, where he
right.
created Yo MTV Raps and brought, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the sound of the hip hop and genre to
Yeah.
the masses. So Fab
No,
Five
I don't
Freddy.
even. That's right. I forgot about him, but he's also famous in the either he raps or he's mentioned in the Blondie song "Rapture,"
I'll be
where
honest
she
with you.
tried.
I think he's just like a Neil. I don't think Davanta. If I could be wrong here, but I don't think he was a rapper. He was just like a Neil K type producer. He made documentaries,
Yeah,
hosted shows, and brought
Yeah,
awareness to the inner city and hip hop.
I know his
that's
name's mentioned if you
who
go
he
to
was.
if you listen to Rapture, she said
Yep.
Fab Five Freddy in it, which is cool. Then Grandmaster Flash comes along in 1976. And he came out with the message, which wasn't written by him. It was written by a guy named Melly Mel and Duke Boutier, and it was written to the response of the transit strike that was going on in 1980. Again, Mayor Koch and the politics. They were just angry about what was going on in the city, leaving a message. There was all this bad shit going on. People weren't having jobs. You know, people were going to jail and stuff. So they were rapping about all the negative stuff, and they wanted to make it positive, call it the message. So he is, he was basically a hero to everybody, and he got the message out there. It was on the radio, but he wasn't the first rapper to be on the radio. The Sugar Hill Gang in 1979, they got on the radio before Grandmaster Flash, and they were a trio like Rush,
Yeah.
and they had different
Davanta shaking
gotta,
his head.
gotta throw a Rush reference in there. Every day, Davanta hears
No more
about Rush.
Rush. Rush
All
is
right,
done.
all right. So they had 3 rap members, and they would have different styles in their vocals, and they're the first rap group to get on the radio, and that was my introduction to rap. Then a couple of years, no, in the same year, I might in 1980, I'm not sure, and we talked about this guy Curtis Blow.
Yep.
He had a song called "The Breaks." He got on the radio. He is significant because he was on a major label, and he went gold. First rapper to go gold and be on a major label. You know Curtis Blow, Davanta?
Of course, I know Curtis Blow, man. Come on,
All right,
it's the same dude that
make...
is the bricks. Like, come on, you think I know Curtis Blow? It's crazy.
All right.
Like, where we at right now, man?
She's gonna be like, "Yo, Davanta, you know 50 Cent, right?"
All right, so where am I? Oh, this is interesting. Grandmaster Flash, he got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the Furious Five, which is, the first rap group to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Fun fact about him. Me and Davante talked about this. In 1980, the game changed with a drum machine called the TR 808, pre-programmed drum breaks, and then a sampler came out called the Lin 9000. So that was the beginning of sampling, and that was the beginning of the golden age of hip hop.
Well, that's really significant, dude. We pause right there because
yeah.
we're gonna last Rush mention and we'll stop. But in our previous show, we talked about but in all seriousness, we talked about like the music tech, like how we talked about like the Moog synthesizer and all these new sounds at the kind of like the dawn of the 80s, Cheech, it sounds like.
This is 1980 when all this stuff came.
So that's actually really also another thing, the 808 drum machine, right?
808 drum machine, yep. And then the Lin 9000 sampler.
Game changer, yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't have to use, like the DJ, the scratching stuff so much.
Right,
they had samplers in there. And that was the golden age of rap leading up to it. And the labels started to come around. Tommy Boy, Def Jam, and Prism. And rap started to get popular in the clubs, obviously.
Hmm.
Radio, WBLS in New York. This is way before you guys, but when I was in like third grade, that was the station, WBLS. And
Wait,
there was a guy named Roscoe, and he would play rap music. And that's where I heard the Breaks, Curtis Blow. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that station.
no.
I'm going prehistoric. I'm going when I was a kid. Uh, and then a breakthrough for rap was MTV,
Yep.
which was Yo MTV Raps.
Fat Fried
And
Freddy hosted.
yeah, he was yep. And then there was a couple other guys, and the guy's name was Dr. Dre before Dr. Dre. He was
Well, yo,
one of the
Cheech.
yeah.
You know what's funny? You mentioned MTV Rap because earlier today I was watching an Arsenio Hall documentary,
Oh yeah,
and this is like the time TV Rap was still doing this thing. That's the same time Arsenio Hall show was going on, and Arsenio
yeah,
Hall was one of the people who would have put like people who up and coming rappers and
yep,
up and coming talent on his show to be on a
yeah,
national television.
yep. That
That right there helps people.
Arsenio was the man because that's a little later. Like that's like in the late '80s. But he put not only rappers on there, he put funk bands on there. Grunge was just coming up. Whatever was popular. I mean, Wikipedia, the Arsenio Hall show, that's a great point. It might have been like 89, 90. So whatever was happening then, they all were on national TV. So a lot of rappers got recognition from being on that show. You know?
So, and again, something that we mentioned in the previous episode on actually our first episode on like the new wave British heavy metal, like the role of MTV.
Yeah.
MTV was, again, MTV comes up because of the way it brought together and like brought this music to the masses. And I agree because
Oh
once
yeah.
MTV started, um, I know some of the first artists, and I could be wrong, but I think you like Run DMC.
Yeah.
You're gonna mention
Oh
a little
yeah.
bit, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Run DMC was the first rap I've seen on MTV.
Yeah.
Rock Bot, that's one of my favorite raps. And then I'm gonna say it, Davante, the Beastie Boys.
Oh my god.
So they now
Those
the
that don't
Beast
know, I hate the Beastie Boys,
the Beastie
dude. I
Boys
hate them
were
so much.
all over MTV. From 1986. And then let me go to my other notes. Some of the other people that should be mentioned that were Africa Boombata
Oh yeah.
was another guy. Queen Latifah is interesting because she's the first female rapper. All Hail the Queen, which is a big album for her, 1989. And
Yeah.
who was the other female rapper we said,
It was
Devontae?
MC Light.
MC Light. She was
Oh,
on there. Let me
and
just throw a couple more. Biz Markie, LL Cool
yep, yep,
J,
yep,
and then later on Public Enemy.
yep.
Also Mona
Um,
Leo.
Salt and Pepper.
yep.
Remember that
Uh,
song?
Kid and
even
Play.
even in '88, NWA was on MTV Raps. And they made videos for like Express Yourself. Because they had explicit lyrics, but on that one they
Right.
definitely got on there and stuff. So that's how they got. So MTV did a lot for rap music as well as metal, pop, and all that. So yeah, so that's what I got as far as like the history of rap. I'm not gonna go. I'm stopping about like 90 right now because then it blows fucking up. It becomes its
Well,
own thing.
Cheech, this is actually a perfect time to start because unfortunately Mrs. Doubtfire has crept in. I don't know
Yeah,
if you told
yeah,
Devontae's
okay,
little inside joke.
yeah.
So we have about like 9 minutes. So I think at this point, I
Mhm.
think let's like focus on the 80s and like I guess we'll start with Devontae. Like Devontae, like do you have any like favorite artists of this time period? Like
From the
influential
80s.
on you? Yeah.
I
Did you
mostly
listen
go
to?
to I mostly fall towards Tribe Called Quest, a little
Mm.
bit of De La Soul. Um that's what I mainly
Now,
go
doesn't
for.
doesn't De La Soul dip into the '90s or the late '80s?
They do dip
That's a
into
good
the
point.
90s more, but yeah, but mostly
But
80s.
yeah,
De La Soul was like iffy in that point. It was like they're just starting. They didn't really
yeah,
like have a foot in the game yet, but some of the early
Yeah.
work, even before they like, got signed to a record label, was actually pretty good.
Me, myself, and I. Right, that was the big one.
Yeah, that was a
Well,
big one. But
well,
they,
well, we'll say their famous album, 3 Feet High and Rising, came out in 1989. So
Right.
they're gonna start the flourishing of the 90s, the hip
Yeah.
hop in the
So they are
90s.
technically an '80s rap group.
Yeah, they're closing
Um.
out the 80s.
Yep. Bismarck Key. He was.
Yeah, he was famous.
You
He
know.
was a beatboxer.
He was. He's
He's
the most.
famous for that.
Thank you. I was thinking. Yeah. 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 He was. Didn't he have the one? Oh God, I forget the name of his song. It was so popular. And LL Cool J blew up too during that era.
I feel like this was his time.
This was his time, definitely. Like I already mentioned, the Beasties. And then there's somebody that should be, you know, brought up that, I mean, I know Davante knows him. I don't know if you know this guy. I thought this guy was gonna blow up. D
Go.
Nice. You ever hear of D Nice?
I'm looking D Nice.
He had a song
No.
called My Name Is D Nice. Came out in 1989,
Oh
and he was
wow.
really hot for a while. He had a good flow, and he was really a one-hit wonder. After that,
Oh, you know what's interesting? He was with the group Boogie Down Productions with KRS-One
yeah,
and
KRS-One.
Scott
Yeah,
LaRock. Yeah. No, you're right. And actually,
yeah.
yeah, that's actually a good name to bring up.
KRS-One is also a big name
Yeah.
during that era. And D Nice later on went on to discover Kid Rock. So,
Oh, that's the D Nice you were talking about.
yeah. So he was like behind the scenes, and
Devontae, how you feel about Kid Rock?
K-Rock is cool. I mean, I'm not a big me personally. I'm not a big fan of the '80s.
well, Kid Rock
I
would
mean,
be
I know other people, but like if I'm like be like, oh, 80, if I could give like my favorite like eras, '80s would be on like the lower tier. I'm not gonna lie with you.
Oh my
Well, I
God.
will say, but
It's
Devontae,
in the
I love how you're
80s.
on this, but I love how he said that because Cheech, see, the 80s, I think, is like the dinosaur age. Like,
Yeah.
unless you're a
Thank,
true,
thank,
like,
thank you, Manny. You make me feel
oh,
young.
I'm sorry, man. Yo, listen, like,
I'm a rock and roll dinosaur. You know that.
well, listen, like,
Rap
even my
dinosaur.
stuff, dude, like, I remember,
Oh, the 90s. Yeah, yeah. It's
like,
like,
the
I mean,
2000s hip hop is like 25 years old at this point. Like,
It still
yeah,
holds up.
it
it
still
does.
holds
It
up. Yeah,
does.
well, that's for another episode. But yeah, no, but I will say that this 80s stuff is definitely someone has to keep the legacy going
Yeah, yeah.
because otherwise, a lot of people don't. I mean, honestly, a lot of people, listeners of today probably won't listen to Curtis Blow anymore, or D
Which is
Nice.
so sad. Yeah, like a young kid like Davante. I don't know, Davante. Would you put the Sugar Hill Gang on at your rap when you have a DJ event? Would you put the Sugar Hill Gang on?
That's a good question, though.
No, now,
Why?
well, because the point of a DJ set is to what people are gonna vibe, what people gonna love. I could put like new music for them to hear out, but like
Right.
this is. I'm not gonna lie with you. No one wants to hear those old flows. Like
That's a
Okay.
that's a
no
that's a
one wants to hear those.
interesting point.
So your generation isn't retrospective to the 80s. Like
And
they
hip
wouldn't.
hop wise, but hip hop wise.
Yeah. They would.
Unless it can provide a certain kind of vibe that the young
Yeah.
generation can like relate to. So like essentially there's a lot of new producers out here that samples a lot of 1970s rock, 1980s, 1970s uh you know restaurant diner kind of music. I forgot what the name of it, but it's killing me right now. But we we if it have a certain vibe that people nowadays can like latch onto, we're gonna use it. But like if for Curtis blowing them, other than the way that they dress, which is a big maybe, like the rapping scheme, it's not gonna happen. We progress way better nowadays with the triplet flows and everything like that.
Okay.
Not gonna happen.
So Cheech, it's dated. Like,
Very dated.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Sense. It makes sense. Like
Yeah.
somebody would have taken guitar, like the blues guitar riffs of like Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
And Jimi Hendrix would have taken the riffs and took it to the next level.
Yeah.
And then that would have led to like, friggin' Yngwie Malmsteen or an Eddie
Yeah.
Van Halen who took it
Yeah.
to the next level. I see where Davante's getting at, But it's different for rock music because we always kind of went backwards for inspiration.
Yep.
So maybe it's a generation thing where kids don't
Well,
get that.
Davanta makes a good point because, and again, later episodes we'll talk about this, like the new ages of hip hop, and we're gonna be talking about the '90s, how it could be argued this was one of the golden ages.
I think so, yeah.
But the '80s, and not only hip hop, a lot of stuff in the '80s is dated. Like we were talking about the mullet, like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? It was. I feel like that time period was a lot of birthing, a lot of, I made that word up, but a lot of stuff, developing and then setting
Yeah.
up the '90s and 2000s, which I
Now,
think,
What if I
Devontae,
told you that the mullet has made a comeback?
I know, I
And
told Cheech, Devontae, no, 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 no,
I
no, no. Listen. We had this
mean,
discussion, and I told Cheech the mullet and mustache actually is made a comeback. It's weird.
made a comeback.
I'm gonna get a mullet. Yeah.
Oh, good luck with that.
No, but all right. So, are we done?
We have 2.5 minutes.
Okay. So, Devontae, um, at your next DJing gig, if I came and I break danced, would that be cool?
If you, I don't think anybody there want to pick up an older man from the floor once he can't get back up. No, no one wants
No,
to.
I'm just saying.
Well,
Young,
Devontae, hypothetically, let's say Cheech break dances. He's pretty good, doesn't need assistance. Would he be like the coolest dude in that dance floor?
If we the cool doing the dance floor, yeah, I'd say so. But sure, you
no.
could do it for a certain amount of time. They can be like, all right, wrap it up, old man.
Oh
Give it for
God.
where we're at.
Do the kids do anybody break dance? Is that still a
Yeah,
thing?
That's a good point.
It's an Olympic sport.
Yeah, I think break
Wait,
dance is so popular.
serious? It's in the Olympics?
Yeah, but my main problem with that it's a new sport. So those that's like the top have not even been like in the Olympics. It's people that somehow made their way into the event, but they're not the best. It's weird.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. And then graffiti, part of the kids still doing that.
Oh yeah. You go to New York and you'll find out.
That's all. Okay. So the old elements are still there.
Some
You
of,
know,
yeah, like
the
graffiti,
vibe,
break dancing. Yeah, I think that's still something that you still see.
DJing, rapping,
Yeah,
breakdancing, graffiti. So it's going back to the metalheads with the long hair, denim jackets, guitars. So there's all that other extra stuff that goes into the scene. So when Mrs. Doubtfire, what do we got? About a minute?
we have 1 minute, so I guess we'll wrap up. Any last
Yeah.
thoughts, guys, fellas?
Well,
Devontae, last
nothing really.
thoughts?
Nothing really.
Peach?
80s is 80s is a weird topic when it comes to rap music, as in like it's very important to how you can like see the foundation of rap in general, but people
Oh,
would not
that's a
go
good
back
point.
to it and like be like, oh, I want to use this for my next song or use this part for next song unless it's for like sampling. People won't take flows from the 80s artists. They'll take the samples, sure, put on a song in the background, but they won't make it their main thing.
That's an
It's
interesting
important.
point.
That is.
I never
It's
thought of that.
amazing how it's evolved.
Yeah, yeah,
But some of the things are still there, which is important. I think you
yeah.
got to keep some of those old roots in there.